It is the SMT Media Network. We've got another trade for you guys. It is hot right now. It's crazy the number of trades I've seen here approaching the deadline. I don't know if I've ever seen such an inactive league when it comes to trades at the deadline. Usually, you see one or two trades that are pretty big. We've had big ones. We've had smaller ones, but it just seems like over the last few days, it's been one thing after the other, and it's been some of the same teams too. All right, so we know about the Luka trade. Luka going to LA, Anthony Davis going to Dallas, and then we saw kind of some other stuff happening. So the secondary pieces, they're not to really be overshadowed, right? They can lead to difference-making outcomes. So just days after Luka and AD in that trade, the Lakers making additional moves and swaps, sending rookie guard Dalton Connect, and as well as a forward Cam Reddish, and I think a pick or a pick swap of some sort to the Hornets in the effort to get a center in Mark Williams. From what I understand, Mark Williams is a pretty nice player. He's pretty good. I haven't watched much of him because I haven't watched much of the Hornets. But moving Don't Connect means, you didn't really have a place for him on the roster. You have LeBron, you have Luka, and then you've got a couple of other guards. In Austin Reeves and some other pieces, you didn't really have a place for Dalton Connect, and Dalton Connect's a nice young player. So he had value in this. Cam Reddish, also a nice young player. So what the Lakers are trying to achieve here is get a guy who can bolster, the front court for the Lakers because they're so guard heavy. And they have a couple of forwards, right? But you need a center. There's moments and matchups and all those things. The Lakers were thinking about that. When you're guard heavy and all those things, you just have to balance the roster. You need guys to do certain things like rebounding, blocking shots, occupying space in the paint so it doesn't become a layup line on the defensive side of the ball. Williams, I think for the season, hasn't played a lot of games. I'm not sure how many it is, but in his last 11 games, he's had 7 double-doubles, including a 31-point outburst, 13 rebound performance against the Jazz very recently. He also scored 38 points in the loss to Memphis back in January. So he clearly has talent. He is clearly something that the Lakers felt they needed. And they were willing to give Dalton Connect away. And Dalton Connect showed promise, but I've always been kind of watching the Lakers and how they use certain players. There were games where Dalton Connect was only playing 5 minutes. And there were games where he played 15 and 20 minutes, but he wasn't very productive. That's very typical of a rookie, and he needs time to develop. He needs to establish a role. And I don't think he was going to get that in LA. And they knew that. I mean, just look at how, D'Angelo Russell kind of played out in the Lakers. They didn't have a place for him. They didn't believe in him. They didn't trust him, whatever the case may be. They moved on from him, sent him packing to Brooklyn. I'm an old school guy, man. I remember when they were the New Jersey Nets. Sent him to Brooklyn, got back some forwards. You know what I mean? That was the whole process. So they're, you're looking at the Lakers kind of rejiggering their roster. They're trying to make it more balanced. They're trying to get the things that they don't really have, things that they're kind of light and skimpy on, which would be centers and forwards. You need a couple of guys. I think this is a solid move. This enhances the Lakers. This makes them better on a night in and night out basis. I don't know if we can expect 31-point outbursts from this guy, Mark Williams. I don't think those points are going to be there because I don't think those looks are going to be there. On the Hornets, they're not good. So they're looking for points however they can get them outside of LaMelo Ball, right? So good move for the Lakers. I think smart to kind of, modify and change some things on the roster to make them better suited to compete night in and night out. You need a defensive presence. You need a center, to get you that support, I think is good. And then you can kind of focus on, with JJ Redick, how am I going to get my points? How am I going to run this offense? What is this going to look like? This is pretty solid. All right, so I think they made a good move. I still think that the trade can work out for both teams in Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic with the Mavericks, and the Lakers. The Lakers, I think, are still a work in progress. They're going to be making moves for the next few years to get a team around Luka that can win championships. And I think when I look at the GM of the Lakers, Rob Pelinka, I think he's doing a nice job of trying to find that place of where the Lakers can kind of modify those things on the roster to enhance it. Life after LeBron is very near. and these are the right moves to make for the team. Anyways, what do you guys think of the trade? How do you think it helps the Lakers? Do you think it's going to be something that's going to enhance their ability to win this year? Do you think it just kind of keeps them from looking awful in the paint, knowing that they had that weakness? I think it was wise for them to go this direction. I think it was a good move and, pretty solid acquisition for them. What do you guys think? Go ahead and drop me a comment.